Streets out.
Here we go. We are live now.
I'm having
All right.
PTSD.
We are live. We are live. I told them not to talk, and they're still talking while we're live. Hey, guys. Mark Hinch, Fugitive Watch, Steve Ferdin in the field, right along with Steve Ferdin. That's what you're doing right now. Steve, say hi.
Hi.
You feel like and I got Scott Cashita here. And Steve, you said you feel like you're working your old beat. What's going on? Explain what's happening.
I said I'm having PTSD flashbacks here. I feel like I'm working my old 61 Married 2 beat here.
Oh, very cool. Frank's with us. Frank, hi, Frank. Good to see you.
Hey, Frank.
And
Frank.
Please join the stream. Come on in. We are trying out our new. Hey, we watch all these great streamers out there we're all fans of, and we thought, you know what? Let's stream. Let's make it a thing. Streaming from San Jose in the South Bay. Let's drive around. We got some stories to talk about, and a lot going on here. So we are going to kind of focus on San Jose, kind of heavy today. And Steve, whereabouts are you right now? Where are you driving on at?
I'm northbound King at Everglade, coming up on King and Story.
All right. So if you're an old school fan of Fugitive Watch and Steve Ferdin, you could watch him out there, maybe get an autograph, buy him a soda, whatever you want to do. And Steve, remind everyone, you were a San Jose police officer for how long?
I did 7 years with the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Department and 23 years with San Jose Police Department, total of 31 years.
And Scott there on his phone. Scott was a retired. He's a retired San Jose police sergeant. Scott, how many years at San Jose PD?
almost 29.
29 years. Right. And then yours truly is a retired CHP officer, 21 years with the Highway Patrol. And now Scott and Steve run the website fugitive.com. And then you can find me over at stolen911.com, where I'm a private investigator. So I kind of handle things that are stolen and stuff like that. And then Scott and Steve obviously been running Fugitive Watch for years,
92.
Since 92. So make sure you check on that. So Steve, what's going on? Where are you at? Where are you heading right now? You got a little protest going on there.
Yeah, we got some protests going on here.
Okay, yeah, we see it. Okay, well, hang out there.
The streets?
What's that?
Are they blocking the streets?
You're good. Your camera's fine. We can see it. You're fine.
Okay. All right.
You're fine. Don't worry about that. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
We don't want to lose the signal. So this is good. This is perfect.
Okay.
We can see so where are we at there? Where you said, I'm sorry, give your location again.
King and Story.
King and Story. Okay, wow. So they're out tonight. And today was a day where a lot of people from Mexico just boycotting everything, not working, not going to shop at stores, right? You guys hear about that?
Yeah. I saw I saw quite a few construction sites, foremen posting on their with their cell phones that the construction sites were empty. There were no workers on the construction sites for building homes and other types of construction.
Wow. I think I'm going to stop the fire calls right now. Just be careful there. Say hi to the nice protesters. So it's still going on tonight.
Are they
I didn't know
blocking
that.
the streets over there, Steve?
What's that?
Are they blocking the streets?
No, they're not blocking the streets. No, they're just people driving slowly because they're don't want to hit nobody.
Right.
Because some of them, I noticed. Did you see that one protest, Mark? I think they had all the chippies were lined up in the street. Was that in L.A.?
That was in Los Angeles.
And those idiots were painting the side of the street. It's like, you're going to lose sympathy there. People want to, sympathize with the cause, but that's not the way to do it.
That's there's always those groups in every protest. There's those groups that just take it a little too far, Well,
and the problem is that they're unorganized and they're impromptu protests, and so you wind up with those kinds of problems. When I was younger, I was part of a lot of protests with the United Farm Workers, a lot of marches, and we always made sure that they were organized. We had assigned monitors to make sure people behaved and stayed off the streets, and everything remained nonviolent. And so you
Didn't you get
avoid those
shot with a
types of
rubber bullet?
problems.
Didn't you get shot at with a rubber bullet, Steve? You told me.
Yeah, actually, I got shot at with real bullets.
Oh, that's right.
In Los Angeles, in East Los Angeles, because a protest again that was actually larger than what the security staff and monitors could handle, and so you wind up, you always wind up with troublemakers, and if you don't have enough staff to keep the troublemakers in line, then it gets out of hand, and that's what happened. Is it got out of hand,
I got some private texts coming in telling me that in some of the other states are actually they're stealing the police cars.
Well, I was back in the Meserly and the Ferguson riots. I was undercover in Oakland, and I have video of these people just trashing the highway patrol cars. We were so spread out that at one point the CHP had to pull back, and the crowd overran where the cars were parked. And we lost like 4 patrol cars one night. I still have the video of that. And we were filming the guys actually doing it. And then later on, we would give that info to our arrest teams, and they would move in as we would follow these people because we were all undercover. We looked like protesters. And then eventually our teams would sneak in and grab these people out of the crowd and arrest them, the ones that actually set the cars on fire. But you need a lot of coordination to do something like that. And again, a lot of those protesters, they were legit. I'm not, but then you get the troublemakers who go out there and they start burning stuff.
Doing sideshows.
Those are the ones that
I saw them doing sideshows this morning. I'm going, just, you're not going to gain sympathy doing that.
Right.
That's not going to, that's just
yeah,
not going to make people.
The troublemakers, they don't care. They're not there for the right reasons. They're there just to make trouble.
I wanted to thank everyone watching. I know we got like 9 people watching right now. I appreciate it. If you could join the chat and join in, we really appreciate it. Please hit that like button for us. We're going to try to get, I don't know, let's try for 50 likes tonight. I don't know. We'll see if we can do that, and this is our first stream. We got Steve out in the field. Steve, are you going to put your Uber sign out? Are you going to pick up any rides while you're out there? Or what's going on?
No, I haven't Ubered for a while.
Believe it or not, people don't know, but Steve and I both, I Ubered for about a year for fun. And then Steve kept doing it for a while. And we kind of did it as call it a social experiment. We were trying to see what all the problems were that Uber was going to have back in the day when they first started. And boy, were we right, Steve? Everything we told them was going to happen, huh?
Exactly.
Everything we told them was going to happen. All the trouble they were going to have, because they don't, they were just pulling people off the street, letting anybody be Uber drivers. What about some background checks?
Steve, is that traffic to the right there? Is that going back towards the protest?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Steve is, if you're just joining it, you'll see a police car over there to the left, but there are protesters out at Story and King, and that's where Steve's heading back that direction now. But real quick, what time is it? It is 7:08. Let's talk about, we'll go over there in a minute, but we got a story to talk about. And Steve, which one is this? Or Scott, why don't you talk about it first? Which one are we talking about here?
You want to head over to that, man, you're stuck in traffic, brother. Look at that. You ain't going to get anywhere for a while.
Is it, how long will it take you to the restaurant?
Well, if I can get to that parking lot, maybe I can scoot around it, but it's
let's talk about some other stuff. Let's talk about some other stuff here. Okay. All right. We'll wait till we get to the restaurant and talk about that one.
Do you see any drones?
I've seen this. Yeah. You see any drone? We got a nice drone story there too. But let's talk about let's talk about this one first of all. I don't know, something kind of new. I haven't seen much of this, but let me put the video up here. I'll move it up. To the screen here.
Yeah, people go watch that instead of the traffic.
Yeah. So we actually had a pursuit in San Jose PD. I didn't know San Jose PD was still pursuing people.
I didn't know either. Back when we weren't pursuing anybody.
Right.
But I watched this, Mark. There wasn't a whole lot to this story.
Right. But I mean, for San Jose PD to be going code 3 like that, and that's down on southbound 24th Street just a few days ago, that's a big deal, right? I mean, tell me what's the protocol these days for pursuing somebody?
Well, I can just tell you what it was when I was there, and pretty much that guy had to be a first-degree murderer in order for that pursuit to continue, because anytime it's going to endanger the community, you got to stop it. And like in those conditions, it's wet. Now this I can't tell if that's sped up or not, because it looks like
it's that's actual real footage right there. It's the way it was. So real quick, this was back on Roosevelt Park neighborhood on the 31st of January at 4:07. If anybody knows what this is about, let us know. Scott and Steve are too far removed from San Jose PD. Too far removed from San Jose PD at this time for their friends to send them any good info anymore. No,
yeah, not that.
Not that. Okay.
We still have friends with well, a lot of snuffies there now.
So Steve is still stuck in the Steve is stuck in traffic. So I don't think he's going to get out of that anytime soon.
You're not having to go to work, huh? That would that would really upset me right there. Yeah.
Well, here's another one. This guy here, let's go over here. This guy here, it's just a weird video of him breaking into cars. Again, over on East San Fernando Street, and broke into many vehicles. I mean, I'm going to think that the police are going to know who this guy is, right? At this point.
Yeah. So this is somebody's video. This guy's not videotaping himself doing it.
No. This is security footage over there in this area. Now you're going to see this old. I think it's a Camaro. It looks like it's abandoned, but it's not. At some point, the owner comes out and actually confronts him. But this guy here, he's been going through the neighborhood, breaking into cars, and I don't know if he's homeless or not, but here he is. Look at that car, right? If I saw that car there too, I might think. But I think the neighbors know that car. It belongs to somebody. And
looks like a homeless somebody sleeps in it. Is that like a
right.
1980 or something? What is that thing?
I'm not sure what that is. It's got tape along the side of it. But they do confront this guy, and at one point he goes through. There's a bunch of stuff in there, and at one point this guy comes out.
Looked like maybe he was just going to go shopping.
It might have been.
It might have been somebody's car that they're living in, and they just keep their stuff in. But now he starts looking in other cars.
He starts looking at other cars. That's exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, he's just shopping.
So, not quite the murder suspects we used to chase on Fugitive Watch, but we had this footage that in. So now this guy's coming back.
Maybe he wants to buy the car.
Maybe he does. But the neighborhood's out looking for this guy. They're trying to figure out who he is. All right. Steve, how we doing? Making any progress?
About 10 feet.
Oh,
10 feet. Wow, they really blocked it. Wow.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
Wow.
Guys, this is no fun for me either.
That's all right. It's all right. So hey, I was going to ask you, Steve, how many people do you think were there when you went through the intersection? Do you have a count?
We have a call in now. Give us
Hey, Steve, talk to him.
It looks between 500 and 1,000.
Wow.
Oh, really? That many?
Didn't look like that many when he was going through.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Engine 17 looks like so far it's going to be an extinguished fire inside the garage. We'll try
It looks like they got all 4 lanes, both directions blocked now.
Right. Hey, hold on, guys. Got a little treat for you. Hold on. Hey, Dale, how are you doing? You hear us?
Yeah, I'm here. How are you?
Dale, good to hear you. Dale Morgan, Steve Ferdin, Scott, say hi to Dale.
Hey, Dale.
Hey, Dale.
I haven't talked to you in years. Dale was my old boss. How you doing?
I'm great. It's been a long time for both you guys.
It certainly
I'm doing
has.
well. I'm doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that's what Mark was just telling us.
Now, Dale, you're a retired lieutenant at San Jose PD, and then you went on to be a investigator at the DA's office, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And then now you're retired from that too, right?
Yeah, and then I was president for the NABI, a national organization that dealt with elder fraud and all kinds of different frauds that are out there attacking our elderly, and did that for 4 years, and now I'm speaking publicly, so quite a bit.
Yeah, you got to be real active. Are you getting involved in any of the pig butchering stuff?
Oh yeah, that's something that we work on a regular basis. Absolutely. That's it came out of China, and it's basically fattening up the victims to the point where they can be taken advantage of. And
there's that one DA out of Santa Clara County, Erin. She does a lot of I don't remember her last name. I know she does a lot of presentations on it too.
Yeah, Erin West, I think it is, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Explain what that is, because explain what exactly is that.
Pig butchering is the term. Usually it'll start out as a romance fraud or some type of fraud online with someone who's elderly. And the reason why they focus on elderly is 75 to 85% of all the wealth that's obtainable immediately in the U.S. is handled by people that are over 65 years old. So they focus on the elderly, and they get them in a romance scheme, which will turn into an investment scheme. And then they'll just take more and more money from them, and that's what they call fattening the pig. And then they will convince them to invest in non-existing funds and show them perspectives and a growth in their investment, and then they just take all the money and run.
Wow.
Sad situation. When somebody's 75 to 80 years old, they really cannot expect to make up that amount of money that they lose. They lose a lot of times, wealth that their children expected. It's a generational wealth. And when you're 80 years old, you can't make that up unless you run for Congress or maybe the president's office.
There we go. Hey, I remember as a patrol officer back in 2000, maybe 17, 18, here in Gilroy, this old lady was coming out of the pumpkin patch there in Morgan Hill, South Morgan Hill, and she T-boned a vehicle that had the right of way, and her car was totaled. No one was hurt, but she was pretty old. And I remember talking to her, and I said, it's about time. I think you're going to have to give up your license, because she really didn't see the car coming. It was broad daylight. So then I gave her a ride home, and she goes, "Oh, my kids are going to be so mad at me." And I said, "Why is that?" She goes, "I just lost like $20,000 in some sort of scam, or a guy called me up. Someone called up posing as my granddaughter, saying she was in jail. And I ended up going to Home Depot and buying all these cards." And she did the whole thing where she bought like $20,000 worth of Home Depot cards and ended up giving them over because she thought her granddaughter was in jail.
Yeah, and it's horrible. They've lost last few years, every year, about $44 billion comes out of the U.S. to that type of scam.
Wow.
And a lot of it's these gift cards. They'll call them government approved gift cards or government approved cash cards. And they'll just convince people to sign over or give them the numbers on the back, or take photos of it and send it in. And that and the grandma fraud is a hello grandma fraud. It's another way of getting a gift card.
That's what this was. Okay, listen, Dale, we brought you on. We want to show you. I know I sent you this video earlier, but I definitely want to take a look at. And Dale, can you see what we have on the screen can you see Steve stuck in traffic right now?
Yeah, I do. I see.
Okay, great. Okay,
it's exciting, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Stuff. All right, let's watch this video, and then
like our old YSD days, Dale.
No joke, Steve. I still remember you coming to my aid when I was rolling around in the rain and the mud, fighting some guy over near the apartments over there. That's good stuff.
Which time, huh?
Which time?
Yeah, I know, really.
that was just every night was a Saturday night out here, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lot of excitement, that's for sure.
And then Dale, you and I worked together. I met you. You were leading you were the lieutenant of the Regional Auto Theft Task Force, RADF, back in 2002 or 2003, I think it was. And I came on. I was a CHP investigator. That's how I met you. And you had a great team. You had Brian East, BK working with you, and you guys, and Keith Roberry from the Sheriff's Department. And I got to tell you, my 21-year career, that year and a half, when you had that team there, when you put your final team together there, that was the most exciting year and a half of my career. And I had the best time. And I've had some great times since then, 2 other task forces and a bunch of other stuff. But that was really the highlight, that year and a half. We were just rolling. And that was all you, your leadership, you and BK just made a great team. All these different agencies you had to put together and just take everyone their specialty and let us do our thing. And it was a fun time. Put a lot of people in jail, bait car programs, the Untouchables, all the chases and all the people that we worked, the what we're going to get into now, the travelers doing the car fraud stuff, same type of what we're going to talk about right here in a minute. But what a great time.
Great team, great officers working, sergeants were fantastic. It was every single person that was working there worked hard and did great work. That's why and you obviously you saw the synergy that occurred when we took people from each of the different agencies, including CHP. Wonderful.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So let me so now you're doing you specialize in this type of crime. Let's watch the video. Dale, feel free to tell us what's going on. I'm going to start it off here. I think there's a little automated thing, and then you just feel free to drop in, and we'll lay the audio over it. So go ahead. Let me get it right going here.
With victims present. January 31st, 2025 in the Morrill Avenue and Sierra Road neighborhood in North San Jose. Beware of this well-known criminal scheme where unsuspecting homeowners are lured outside when the criminal crew invades the home and immediately goes for the valuable items. Watch this video, and if you spot these criminals, call the San Jose Police Department immediately.
So go ahead, Dale. Tell us what's going on.
The flower pot?
Yeah, you know what they're doing is they're just convincing the old guy to get out of his house, and they'll realize that his wife's there as well, but they want both of them to get out of the house. And they'll either come into the house and move people into the backyard or in the front, or actually to a different part of the house to keep them away from where the burglars go in.
Oh, the dragon fruit. Oh, okay.
Now, this was, I guess they solved a bunch of these about a year earlier.
My wife is over here.
What do you call these type of travelers? What's the terms we're using these days?
Yeah, you have to be careful though, right?
Yeah, you know, there is a lot of different groups that the FBI calls non-traditional organized crime. And these are part of that group. They'll call themselves gypsies. When we arrest them and interview them, they call themselves gypsies.
Do we need to put a disclaimer up?
Are another group that travelers are either English, Scottish, or Irish, and they tend to do a lot of this type of burglary as well, and they do a lot of construction fraud.
So can I ask you something, Dale, about that
So real
term?
quick, Scott, he's bringing the wives now coming out, so they're getting them both out of the house now. And Dale, you see what happens after here, right? You saw the video, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Scott. Sorry.
So Dale, real quick on that. I know that like we used to refer to them as gypsies, but apparently they're saying that that's considered a derogatory term now, and they don't want.
Okay, what's going on, right, Dale? What's going on here right now? Who are these two ladies?
The two ladies that are coming in right now, you see they're wearing the mask because they have been identified before through home videos and such.
Okay.
But they're the accomplices that'll go in as the homeowners are distracted, and they'll go in and they'll start ripping off whatever they can find. Typically, they'll go to the master bedroom first. They'll know where it is, and they know basically where elderly people like to hide their cash, their jewelry, whatever else they have in the house, and they'll hit that area first. Go ahead.
Okay, so the young girl and the other one, they got the couple out of the house and away from the front door, and then these two came in while she's got those other two distracted.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and Scott, to let you know that when we refer them to specific like traveler or gypsies, we're talking about what they refer themselves as and the group that they identify with, and it's not a specific race. I know
it's not it's not a race, but I know that I have family that they're off. He's an officer here, and I don't want to name his name, but he was told me that the DA here threw a bunch of cases out if they wrote the word gypsy in the report, and that started in San Jose, and they were given a class told that they're not allowed to write that in the reports anymore, and they'll throw the case out.
Yeah, see, that's someone that doesn't know exactly what's going on with this group. It's just like if we were back when the Italian mafia just started and we were not allowed to call anybody in that group Italian mafia, then we'd have a real hard time taking care of that problem, right? But it has nothing to do with being Italian. It has to do with the mafia and the criminal element. So we're talking specifically about the criminal element of this group.
And what they call themselves.
I thought that was a huge overreach from the DA's office in this area to say, to blanketly say, if you mention that or use that term, then they're going to throw the case. They're going to throw the cases out, and they're not going to file.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not the DA; it's specific judges that are looking at, and they're just misdirected. They need to understand what exactly is happening.
We've seen a lot of misdirected judges lately, huh? Supreme Court justices, judges.
One or two.
A lot of misdirection.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It happens. Yeah, we got we got our own. You guys, we talked about it last week, and Dale, you know the story. You're the lady that worked in the POA getting a pretty light deal compared to everything else going on. Probably her first offense, but a lot of people don't understand why she only got probation. You know, and a lot of that issue going on. A lot of judges being called out for some of these sentences they're putting out there.
Yeah, they don't realize how many people like that hurt, and how many families have been torn apart by stuff like that. They're just looking at the one individual and not realizing, the havoc that they've caused on society.
So these ladies here really going at it, man. Look at them.
They know what they're looking for, huh? They're looking in old purses. They're looking. Yeah, you're right. They know exactly where to look, huh?
Yep. Yeah, they're and a lot of times they'll go through and they know when it's costume jewelry and when it's not, and they'll take the good stuff and leave the old stuff there. The stuff that's not worth anything.
So now they don't live here in San Jose. They're just here until it's too hot for them, and then they move on. Correct?
Exactly. And you might find the group staying in local hotels if you can get an ID on a car. It's usually car rentals. But they're not just doing the burglaries. They do a whole bunch of different crimes. A lot of times you'll see them doing the jewelry swap at the big stores like Costco and stuff, where they'll act like they're trying to give somebody something for give them directions somewhere or something like that. Yeah, they'll throw a piece of costume jewelry on an older lady and then steal her expensive jewelry right off her neck.
Wow. All right.
Jose, if you witness a crime,
Steve, where you at?
Yeah, Steve, what's going on?
I'm heading out towards that Vietnamese restaurant that had the guy try to rob them of their robot server.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go to that story next. Very cool. Dale, so where can people find you? Are you working off a website, or if people want to get a hold of you for your presentation? How do they find you?
They can go to the National Association of Bunco Investigators, NABI, and on there's a link they can get a hold of me or get a hold of the current president that's out there, and we can help them do whatever they need to do.
I put the name in the chat, and then we'll put a link on it too. And so, Dale, as we come across this stuff more, can we reach out to you? You come on more, talk about stuff in San Jose and some crime stuff that we come across?
Oh, anything at all you guys need. Absolutely.
Cool. Awesome. This is great. This is what we want to do. We put Steve out. Steve wanted to be in his patrol car again, so we let him go out. He's got his Uber sign with him so he can pick up a ride and he can drive around, and we're probably going to get Scott out there too.
Dale, I have when I was in the I did my last couple years in the financial crimes unit, and we really didn't have anybody specifically dedicated to elder crime, so we would just, whoever was the officer of the day, would get the calls from the family members saying, you know what, the caretaker, or there's some lady who keeps visiting my dad, and he's writing her checks and giving her money, and we would go out and talk to the old man, and sit down at the kitchen table. You know, are you really sure you really want to be given all this money? Oh yeah, no, she's really nice. You know, she's nice to me, and so it was really difficult to try to make a case. You know, when the victim was saying that they wanted to give the money to the person who was visiting them.
It just happened to me with my uncle. That's what just happened. Remember, I told you, he's elderly. He was in a bed, and I was hiring a service to come in and help me with him because I just couldn't. It was just too much for me. And then I started going around. I started noticing things were missing, and all his watches were gone. His coins started going through. And then I asked him about it. I said, "Hey, Uncle, what's going on?" And I knew he couldn't even get up and go back there. And then he's, "Oh, I told so-and-so she could take, and I'm going, who did you tell that they could take stuff?" But he was not in his right mind to be giving these people permission to just take what they wanted out of his house. But they did.
The very first thing, everybody knows elderly people that have dementia, and you eventually lose your capacity to do a whole lot of different things. But they've shown that the very first thing you lose is the ability to handle money and to understand the worth of things. It's the first thing. Your family member can seem like they're perfectly okay, and then they start giving away the farm, and you don't know why. It's because that's what's going on. I had one case where the lady's only 75 years old, and she had a lifetime as a finance director, and she's married to another guy, her husband, who died before her, that was also into finance, and she gave $3.5 million away to these scams.
Oh,
wow.
Huge. It's generational wealth just gone.
My aunt got nailed on that lottery scam where this guy came up and told her that he had won the lotto, and he showed her a lotto ticket and the winning numbers and said that, but he was an immigrant and he couldn't cash it in. And so him and his girlfriend convinced my aunt. They said, "Look, I'll sell it to you for, a few thousand or whatever." They were going to take her to the bank to take money out. Luckily, somebody in the parking lot saw. They tried it on somebody else and they didn't fall for it, but then they saw my aunt talking to them, so they called the police. And then she actually they got in her car. She was driving to the bank, and then they said all she had to do was take money and hand it over to somebody at this church, and they would give her the lotto ticket. And she gets in the car, and thank goodness, man, there was a young San Jose cop. He spotted the car, and he spotted my aunt, and he called me and said, "Hey, what had happened to my aunt." My aunt was so embarrassed that she had almost fallen for that.
Get rich quick.
Hey, guy, here we go, guys, real quick.
Victims out thousands of dollars. They thought they'd be Trump-made millionaires. Well, it turns out they were probably duped by what appears to be AI-generated videos. Those videos appear to show President Trump, Bank of America CEO, even Elon Musk talking about the Golden Eagle project.
Listen to this guy. What happened to him?
To make money by purchasing and then trading in collectible Patriot Eagles. ABC 7 News I-Team reporter Melanie Woodrow has the 7 on Your Side story. I assume they actually weren't.
They were not, Kristen. One of these Golden Eagles, you can see it here, it's pretty small, worth $59. That's how much it costs to purchase them. Supposedly the trade-in value more than $100,000. One Pittsburgh man thought he'd be a millionaire. Turns out this is worth less than its weight.
Marine Corps veteran Wesley Skelton is dumping out $2,500 worth of Golden Eagles, along with what he thought were Trump silver coins.
He said that he was going to help the people become millionaires. I could trade these in for cash at Bank of America, supposedly $110,000 a piece.
$110,000 a piece?
Correct.
Which is why Skelton bought 324 of them.
So you thought you were getting
Over 35 million.
Skelton became aware of the project after watching what he now knows were fake, likely AI-generated videos of President Donald Trump on Telegram.
And I want to congratulate everyone who has already gotten their Trump Golden Eagles and exchanged them for a new future.
There were also fake videos of Bank of America's CEO and even Elon Musk.
You can even visit any Tesla shop and trade your Trump Golden Eagles for a Tesla car or use them to invest in Tesla.
I mean, is this? I feel for the guy, but I mean, wow.
Yeah, I mean,
you see this over and over and over again. There's always a new scam, but they basically are looking for individuals' greed and the concept of the brass ring. Finally, this will be me making my money. They use all kinds of marketing techniques to get you sucked into this type of scam.
Wow.
Yeah, Dale, I have a friend who works for Safeway, a customer service desk, and she tells me she's always having to get in arguments with elderly people who are trying, she knows they're getting scammed. They're buying gift cards and sending money orders, Western Union money orders, and she could tell that they're getting scammed. And she's telling them, you don't want to do this. You're being scammed. And the people are arguing. They're arguing with her. No, I want to do this, and she can only go so far because she doesn't want to get in trouble with her employer. But she really feels bad that she knows that these people are getting scammed, and she tries to protect them.
Yeah, if it looks like a scam, they really should call somebody to come take a look at it. And if you've got good DAs and good cops, we can stop it. Like Sherry Ballard.
There she is.
She understood.
Just said hi.
She's saying hi to you right now.
Yeah, she's it's just a matter of the expertise that she has, and other DAs now that have fallen. And if you get into the right DA, then you can go prosecute these cases. But I had a friend who's a manager of FedEx, and he'd have boxes full of money that these people would be sending in cash, $10,000 at a time. And he'd go to them and say, hey, you're probably a victim of fraud. You're trying to send this money. We're not going to send it for you. And then they'll call a bank, or they'll let them know that he might be a victim, and then hopefully he'll get some help. But a lot of times they're so convinced they keep sending money.
We lost Steve's feed there. I don't know if he can hear us or not, but Scott, I'll let you try to handle that on the side there. Hey, if you're just joining us, make sure you chat on the YouTube chat there. Appreciate it. Comment. Thanks, Sherry, for joining in. Sherry and Dale we all used to work together in auto theft years ago. But again, if you are just watching, I could see it's like 11, 12 people. I appreciate it. And make sure you hit that like button. We're trying to get as many likes as we can. This is our first stream where we have Steve out on patrol. And as you can see right now, Scott's on the phone with Steve because we lost his video feed. So
we'll
see what happened.
All right. He's logging back. He's trying to log back in.
He's trying to log back in. So this is our first time. So we're actually driving around with the live camera in the streets of San Jose. And we've already saw one protest at, was it King and Story? King and Story. And he said about 500 to 1,000 people were out there. Looks like he's, I don't know if we're going to get him or not, but he'll, when he pumps back in, I'll be able to log him in.
Why don't you want to talk about that drone story? Because
let's go to the drone. Yeah. And Dale, if you got to go, feel free, but you're more than welcome to hang out. We're going to be talking all for a while here. So
yeah, no problem. I just want to watch Steve start chasing people over the fences. Like,
so we're going to do the,
I've been on a few foot pursuits, me and Steve, and car pursuits. So in that area.
That's right.
I don't know. I'm not sure why his video feed went dead.
We'll figure it out. So real quick, what we've got here is I fly a drone, and a lot of people do. A lot of people do in their protests. So Scott, what do we got here real quick?
So basically, this guy, he's flying a drone where the fires are going on. Hey, there's Steve. He's got to get set back up.
All right, we'll bring him back in a minute here. Go ahead.
So this guy decides he's going to fly the drone over where the fires are. And the reason I bring this up is there's a lot of people using drones right now. And matter of fact, these protests, people are using drones to cover these protests. Police are using drones over the top of the protests. We're probably going to have some collisions. In this case, this guy takes the drone. He goes out to where the fires are. He ends up running into this super scooper, they call it. And I think it was from Canada, I believe it was from.
Yeah, from Quebec.
From Quebec.
That's right.
And this thing ends up colliding. Luckily, nobody was hurt, and ends up going right through the wing, causing like $65,000 in damage. And plus the fact now the thing's unusable because they couldn't fly it. They were out there trying to fight fires. And this guy's looking at probably a year in prison. And hey, Steve, you got to turn your camera around, bro.
Well, he's on camera. That's fine. But I love it. This was funny. All right, we're good. All right, let's watch the video. I'll just watch one of the where he pleads out and see what happens.
In other news, a Culver City man will plead guilty to federal charges over a crime during the Palisades fire. Officials say he flew a drone that crashed into a super scooper. NBC4's Karma Dickerson joins us live from outside the Royval Federal Courthouse in downtown LA. And Karma, the mistake took the firefighting plane out of commission for a while.
Yes, and at a crucial time, you'll remember the early days of the fires when it was so windy, they had to ground a lot of aircraft. And they say that's a reason why the fires grew so out of control, why they did so much damage. So being able to get those helicopters, those planes in there was crucial. And so losing one got a lot of attention. A drone flew into this super scooper and forced it out of commission. And so now a man is facing federal charges in relation to that. He did make his first court appearance today. As you know, there are no cameras allowed in federal court, but here's an idea of what things look like inside. A plea agreement has been filed for Peter Ackerman, a 56-year-old who lives in Culver City, as you mentioned. The charge, unsafe operation of an unmanned craft. Here's a look at the type of firefighting airplane we're talking about. It's called a super scooper, and it's vital to firefighting efforts. This is some video of super scoopers grabbing water from the ocean and dropping it over the fire. Ackerman, as part of his plea, is admitting that January 9th, the third day of the Palisades fire, he went to the Santa Monica Promenade and launched a drone into the fire zone. But the FAA had essentially banned drones from flying at the area at the time because they could interfere with the firefighting efforts and threaten the safety of emergency workers in the sky. And it turns out that's exactly what happened in this case, according to federal investigators. Ackerman lost sight of the drone and it crashed into a Canadian super scooper, which was carrying 2 people.
That's crazy and very dangerous.
And that guy's looking at a year in prison plus having to pay back. I mean, that's, and the reason I talk about this, like I said, we're seeing more and more. I myself want and am very interested in the whole drone world. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
But there are the thing is there's classes you need to take, you need to understand. And they found this guy. Apparently this drone was busted up, but it was registered to this guy, so they knew who they were able to go back and find him.
Well, it's a miracle we're not attending funerals for the crew of that plane.
Yeah, I mean, you got to use your common sense, and I know that part of the video I was watching there, and people think because these drones are so high tech that they have these avoidance collision things, they're geofencing. Well, all that went out the window because that thing got into the fire zone. And I know that, like I said, if you're bringing those things out and you're going to these protests or you're going to police calls and you think you can just run a drone over the top, you run into some of those police drones are pretty friggin' expensive. You're going to be doing some jail time.
Right.
You're not supposed to. So go ahead. Tell us where you're at, Steve.
Yeah, tell us, Steve, let's talk about where you're at. Go ahead and take us lead on the story. We got it queued up for you now.
We're heading over to the Pho 21 restaurant, Vietnamese food restaurant, and what happened was why
don't you just set up the video for us and we'll watch it on the way over there. But just real briefly, what like a couple sentences, what happened?
Oh, hey, yeah, some guy tried to do a daytime robbery and steal a $18,000 robot server.
All right, let's take a watch here.
Bizarre robbery attempt at a South Bay restaurant, one that had employees struggling with what they call the robot kidnapper.
You put it on the big screen.
Surveillance video from just before 8 a.m. last Saturday at Pho 21 restaurant shows the man walking in. He asks to use the restroom, and when he emerges, he grabs one of the shop's 3 robot servers.
Look at her.
See there, he's struggling to get it out the front door and into his backed up car parked right outside. Employees race after him and eventually get the man to release the robot and call police. The owner tells me the robot costs about $18,000, but says it is useless for a thief because it has to be specially programmed in order to work.
That is crazy.
What does the guy think he's going to do? Take it home and have it,
I think he maybe thought the screen was worth something. I don't know. I mean,
well, you know what? Have you seen those robots driving around in the parking lots and stuff?
Yeah.
San Francisco was trying to use them, but they were getting tagged. And I know I saw them in San Jose. The first time I saw it, I was at the hospital, and this thing's just going up and down the rows, taking pictures of everything. And apparently, it takes pictures of your face, so it recognizes you. And if you've been stopped and put in the system, it'll notify the user, say, hey, this guy's in the parking lot. He's already been told not to be here. You know, they want you trespassing. But I haven't seen. It's like I think they're using them less and less, probably because they're so expensive.
So, your friend over there at Eastside San Jose, what's the name of that Instagram account? Eastside, right?
The East, yeah, East.
I saw it first when he posted it, and I actually looked at the license plate. I could read that license plate on that car. You know, like someone like me, a private investigator, I could figure out who owns that car if that's the correct license plate. So they know who this guy is if that's legit, because I was able to see it on the footage that he had on his channel.
But it sounded like in the newscast that they called the police, and it looked like the police kind of told them, well, if he comes back, give us a call. You know, he's gone already.
So are you there now? Are you there?
I'm right down the street from it.
Don't run that red light.
That's a straight up robbery. I'd hate to think that the San Jose Police Department wouldn't investigate this.
Well, I'm just amazed. I gotta say, do you guys remember call boxes on the freeway? Sure. The call boxes. So, when I was in the highway patrol, someone stole one, which happened quite often. Stole the entire call, the tower, the box, and then he put it in his living room, and he thought it was funny. He put it in his living room, like, "Look, I got a call box." Well, we found out about it because they're trackable.
Yeah, no kidding.
And he got arrested for stealing the call box. So I'm just, this guy here, what's he think? Is he think he's going to be able to sell it on Marketplace or at the flea market or what? I just,
who knows what's going through their minds? You know, it's just when you're strung out on drugs, you know, they don't think straight.
You know what?
That's one of the side effects.
I'm going to look this guy up. If I could track him down, maybe we'll go find him and interview him and say, what's going on? And I'm just curious.
Ask him, what were you going to do with it?
Yeah. I wonder if they filed charges. If anyone knows if they actually filed charges on this guy, let us know. But I would think they would. I think the restaurant probably would have filed on. And Steve, where's the restaurant located at? Where are you at?
It's located in the Sun Plaza on South King Road, just south of Tully Road.
Okay. And Dale had to log out there, and but Dale, we really appreciate you coming on, and that was great. Please come back and share some more of your knowledge with us and help us put the word out. And that is awesome. Anytime you want to come on, just let us know. We'll be inviting you more anyway. So
there's some of that great AT&T service. It's probably glitching on the. We're not getting a good clear picture, are we?
It's okay. You're going to see some of this depending on the stream. And also, I thought maybe it was a San Jose helicopter with the spotlight down on Steve there for a second. Yeah. So, all right. So let's see what else we have here on. Again, we're out here doing live. Steve's out driving around. Let's ride along with Steve Ferdin tonight. Again, if you're watching us, we appreciate it. Let us know in the comments where you're from. Hit the like button. And Frank, we hope you're still there, Frank. We're not sure if we lost you or not. But
he's there. I know
he's there.
He's riveted.
He's riveted. That's very cool. Very cool.
He grew up in the same area, so I know he knows everywhere where Steve is. So
that's right. That's right. Okay. So let me. What else do we have here? We wanted to discuss tonight. I was amazed by that whole traveler burglary thing. The amount of time those ladies were in the house. Because they're in communication with the other couple that was keeping the people distracted, so they know they know exactly how long they can be there.
You saw her pull her phone out of her shirt, which they're probably listening in, so they'll know that they can stay out there and stay up there and go through all the drawers and everything.
Right. Okay, let's do. Real quick, we have a San Francisco PD is going to commend an officer for his actions. here, and I'll let you guys tell me what's going on here. And go, who's got this one here? SFPD commends Officer Casey Chow.
Yeah, apparently the couple these officers, they must have been in a 2-man car. I'm guessing they had got.
I think it was a training car, Scott.
Oh well, it was okay. They got in a
FTO car.
They got in a chase earlier, and they let the car go because it was getting too dangerous. And so then later they got another call about some car driving recklessly, and they go, "Hey, that matches the description of the car they were chasing." So they went over and they ended up getting the suspect that was in the car. A fight ensues, and if you watch the video, you'll see where the guy. It's pretty hectic. I know I've had it done to me. I know Steve's had it done to him.
For SFPD's Northern Station, the body camera footage is dramatic and harrowing and shows how quickly everything can go sideways. Body camera video shows the moment 2 San Francisco police officers caught up with a suspect after he had been driving recklessly in a stolen red Hyundai and took off from them. As Rookie Officer Casey Chow and Training Officer Anthony Quimbo of Northern Station approached the suspect near Jefferson Square Park back in November, he refused to cooperate and struggled with the officers.
Didn't want to listen to any commands and started fighting with the both of us.
All 3 fell to the ground. That's when police say the suspect grabbed Chow's gun using hands to try to get it out of the holster.
Yeah.
Get your hand off of this! 1025, he's grabbing our gun! Let go!
There's definitely an adrenaline rush, definitely some fear, but at that moment it's either fight or flight.
Officer Quimbo hit the suspect to prevent him from grabbing his partner's gun. Sheriff's deputies arrived to assist.
Sheriff, units are 97, show us taking one in the cuffs.
The suspect could have gotten shot, but he wasn't.
He was trying to grab my partner's gun.
Definitely, and if it were a different circumstance or different officers, I mean, deadly force definitely would have been justified.
At the end of the day, you know, I wasn't seriously hurt. My partner wasn't seriously hurt. And thankfully, the suspect wasn't seriously hurt either.
At a City Hall ceremony on Wednesday, the officers were honored for their efforts.
We call and you come running. You don't ask questions, you show up. And to me, that is true public service.
Public service, says Chief Bill Scott, that often goes unnoticed.
And it's always when it bleeds, it leads. And we see usually the worst stories. We don't get to tell the best stories.
I think the police should be transparent about what happens, you know, good and bad. And I think it's great for the public to kind of get a glimpse of what we go through in a day.
Now, that suspect has pleaded guilty to assault, but he skipped his sentencing. So now there's a bench warrant out.
Oh,
his arrest.
Really?
Gee, he was. What judge? Yeah, who let him out?
This was back in November that it happened. So wow, he's out of jail.
Go figure. They don't name the guy.
Yeah, we'll figure out his name and we'll get him on Fugitive Watch. He's got a warrant out. We'll figure out who he is.
I could tell you that feeling when you look down and you see somebody else's hand on your gun and you feel them tugging and you get that oh crap feeling.
So the officer in our training too was that you trap their hand on the gun, at least lock their hand down on it. So and that type of holster, he probably couldn't pull it out because he doesn't know how to work it. So, which is they're designed that way. So he's locking the hand down, right?
Yeah, that's what it appeared he was doing. And then of course yelling, he's got his hand on my gun and for letting the other officer there because he doesn't necessarily know. But I know that I don't want to sit here telling war stories, but I know after that happened to me a few times, that's when I went out and I bought a backup weapon and I carried a second gun and I practiced. And I said, the next time somebody puts their hand on my gun and tries to struggle, because one time my gun flew out of my holster and ended up out in the middle of where Steve was earlier. Oh, actually over there off of King and Tully it ended. I was at King Street and watching my gun fly out in the middle of the road. And I'll tell you, after that, I said, if anybody ever does that again, then that's why I had a secondary weapon. But, I commend the fact that these guys, they handle it good and nobody gets hurt. Like he said, all we hear is the bad stories. Had they shot him, it would have been, they shot an unarmed man. That would have been all the story. They shot him. Why did they shoot him? They shot. But like Steve will always tell you, it's there's always a weapon once you go hands-on with these guys, because you've just introduced everything on your belt to the fight and to the situation, right, Steve? That's what
That's right. I used to tell my recruits when I was an FTO that every call is a weapons call, because if they don't have a gun, you just introduce the gun into the situation.
If you're just joining us, we have Steve Ferdin, retired San Jose police officer, co-founder of Fugitive Watch, out in the field driving around San Jose. Steve, you left. What's the latest on the protesters? Where was the last sighting? And
I was going to try to see if I could get come in from the Story Road side, maybe get some visual without getting stuck in the traffic. But I had an incident similar to with Scott, where my partner and I had gone into a domestic disturbance call into a condominium townhouse situation, and the stairwell going from the first floor to the second floor. You know how narrow those are. And this big Samoan guy come at us with a samurai sword, and knocks down my partner, and we wind up in this knockdown drag out fight in this narrow stairwell, and he's overpowering my partner to take his gun out of his holster, and my partner is screaming, shoot him, he's getting my gun. I can't keep my gun in my holster. He's taking it. He's yelling at me to shoot him, and the only reason I didn't shoot him is because I couldn't get a clear shot without endangering my partner. And if I had been able to get a clear shot, I would have shot him. But those are it. A lot of police officers, unfortunately, are killed with their own weapons.
It would be interesting to find out who this guy is and then kind of look at his history. That might tell us a lot. Is he on prison time, or is it all county time, or what type of priors he has? Definitely not someone. He pled guilty, but definitely not someone that should be out.
Yeah, I remember OPD back in the 70s and late 60s, early 70s had a string of officers getting killed with their own guns, and they went through a whole string of trying out different holsters to try to reduce the number of officers getting killed with their own guns. And they tried the old military style that had the flap that went over the gun, like the old Army style, and they tried these clamshell holders. They tried all kinds of different holsters and to try to reduce the possibility of an officer losing his gun to a suspect.
Right. So let's we've got a shooting case here in San Jose, and I'll pull it up here. Scott, can you tell us about this San Jose police shooting?
Yeah. So apparently what happened was these not off duty, plainclothes officers were at a stoplight over off McLaughlin and Melbourne in San Jose. And this car goes by them, I guess, riding about 4 deep, 4 guys in the car. They start giving them some hard looks. They motion to them like, we got, they're looking for trouble. So apparently the car keeps going.
San Jose police.
And these guys pull over to call for some backup and let them know that, hey, we think we got some bad guys here. And then they flipped a U-turn, came back at them, and started shooting at the officers.
Let's watch the story here from NBC Bay Area 11.
Update an exchange of gunfire last night with a still unknown number of suspects, but no one is believed to have been hit by gunfire. Happened about 10:30 last night at Melbourne Boulevard and McLaughlin.
That's right where Steve's at, near that area.
New video from the scene this morning. There's a car riddled with bullet holes. We know plainclothes officers were involved, allegedly returning fire after they were shot at. Police are warning there may be lingering street closures in the area. A news conference is planned for 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Okay, so that was just the original story there, and we actually have footage of it, don't we?
Yeah. Oh, there was some footage of one of the videos that they used to find these guys.
Oh, okay. There's a car driving by.
The good ending to this is the chief of San Jose, Paul Joseph. He said, "We're going to get these guys." and they brought out all the heavy hitters. And apparently the officers did return fire, but they didn't hit these guys. And so they brought out they brought out all the heavy hitters, and they investigated this thing, and they ended up locating all 4 of them. I think one got picked up in San Francisco. One of them got picked up in the Ruiz guy got picked up, I think, in Gilroy. And I can't remember.
One was in the valley, out Turlock or something like that, Modesto or something like that.
They referred to him something in the, I don't know if you've heard, murder gang. And I don't know what exactly these guys, what little organization they belong to, but obviously they were just out looking for trouble. And luckily it wasn't just a couple citizens, they picked the fight with the wrong people. And
That's
luckily it turned out good. And all these guys are now facing attempted murder charges. So that's a good thing. Let's hope they put them away for a long time. And I vote no pardon. That's what I vote.
Yeah, no pardon be good.
I vote no pardon for shooting at the police.
Not at all. Yep.
I second it.
Well, guys, we got 8 likes on the stream. Let's go for 10.
Well, what do you think about rebooting Steve's feed there?
Yeah, I mean, we'll give it a try. I think we're going to shut it down here a little bit, but this is our first live stream ride along. That's what we should call it, a ride along in San Jose with Steve Ferdin.
Are you going back down to check out the protesters, Steve?
Yeah, I'm going to see if they're still out here.
Okay, good. We're going to see if we're going to get see if we get the protesters back out there.
Is my camera not working?
Your camera's working a little. The feed is a little
shaky,
pixelated.
Okay.
Yeah. You might have gone over. You might have gone over your streaming limit. We'll figure that out. I think we're okay.
I gotta pay my bill.
Yeah. I think also that there's probably a lot of phones down there, and the AT&T feed is probably
overloaded to the max.
I bet. And Frank, we appreciate you, Frank. You're with us all the time, and we appreciate it. So
yeah, thank you, Frank.
Scott's going to take you to lunch this week.
Yeah. Loyal listener. Loyal watcher.
Give him a raise.
So, because we were talking about another thing we can do is we can go out. Scott can go out on his own with his own feed, and we can roll in things. And then, we got another comment here. Mark Sanchez, he wants, what about working with ICE agents to get these guys off the streets for good? Yeah, Mark, a lot of people feel the same way. And, there's a lot of different opinions on this.
We're not really sure what the immigration status of those 4 guys are. They didn't refer to that in the story. I have no idea.
That's true. So I apologize. I thought Mark might have been talking about the protests going on right now, but yeah, you were talking about the immigration status of those. And that's what we're hoping. At least what they're doing now, they are targeting the ones that really need to be deported, the ones with criminal records, and the ones that are actually wanted. I watch a lot of stuff in New York and how they're going after some of these criminal aliens that are just really terrorizing the buildings they live in. And I guess the police can't even allow to go into some of these buildings because of the way the housing laws are over there, which is just crazy to me. And this is what we get for letting a lot of this stuff go on like this for a long time. And, if anything, ICE's priority hopefully is to go after the ones that really need to be taken out first. And I think that's what they're doing. We'll see what happens after that.
I posted a story the other day. It was on our Instagram feed. You can go check it out. And it was pretty intense. Originally it was reported as ICE agents, but I did a little homework. It looks like they're saying it was Border Patrol, and it was in Bakersfield, California, and they had done a car stop on this guy, and he was in Bakersfield, California, and they had done a car stop. I'm getting a feedback there, Mark.
Yeah, it's me. Sorry. Thing. Go ahead.
So anyway, this guy owns a landscaping company, and these border agents allegedly, I saw the video, and they stopped the guy, and they they ask him for his license. He gives them his license. And then they said they wanted him to hand over his keys. And he's like, why do I have to give you my keys? So then the border agent slashed his tires so he couldn't drive away. And the guy's like, why'd you do that? Why'd you cut my tires? And you could see all that in the video. I watched the whole video. And the guy just said, hey, I did what I had to do. You did what you had to do. And then they held him for like 4 hours. And the guy's a U.S. citizen. And, but they held him for 4 hours and let him go. And I'm like, that's not a good look. Those aren't, we want to go after, like, if these guys that shot at the San Jose police officers, if they turn out that they're not here legally and they're wanted for attempted murder, damn it, then we need to send them packing after they do their time.
Right. They're talking about sending people out to Gitmo again. And Mark popped in again. McLaughlin Avenue is known for shootings. It's known by the streets. I know you guys know that, both Steve. That's your old beat right there, right, Steve?
It was when I worked for the sheriff's department.
Right. Scott, you worked out there, right?
I did work out there. That's why I kind of laughed when I watched one of the news reports, and it referred to it as a quiet neighborhood. I went, "Oh, really?"
Yeah, I can remember.
I haven't been out there in a while. Maybe it's quiet.
Is it Story McLaughlin? I can't remember. It's been so many years. The Highway Patrol. I used to pull in that 7-Eleven all the time. Our graveyard car. We pull in there, right? Is that the one? The Story 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd hang out there, and it's a crazy time to be out there in the middle of the night, especially around the summertime. But so I appreciate everyone watching. I
want to know why, Mark asked us. Know why.
Okay. Yes, Mark, be careful. We do want to know.
We want to know. We want to know.
What is it they want to know?
It wants to know why. We got 10 likes. This is good, guys. We got our goal of 10 likes. That's awesome.
Well, probably get more if we clear that damn picture up. I think we got to read.
I don't know. I mean, we have to try that out. This is our first time streaming with that phone.
Underwater.
I think it's AT&T's overloaded.
Working lives.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I got it right here. Major meth dealer working lives right across the street. Okay, Mark. Yeah, you can message us too at fugitive.com, Mark. If you have something you want us to look into, reach out to Scott or Steve. The tip lines are on the website, fugitive.com.
Yeah, and join us every day. We try to post new stories.
On our Instagram,
is old and what have you, but we still got 350,000 people there we try to answer to. But come over and check us out on Instagram. We try to get new stuff up on Instagram every day.
I'll tell you, I'll give you an example of how busy it used to be out here. We'd have to log in before we had computers in the car. We had to get on the radio to log on and let them know we were in service. When I was working midnights, we started at like 10. I think we started at 10 at night. And so
you had to get out of the car, get your key, open the phone box, call in, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that guy! I thought that guy almost hit you.
So I'm working the King and Story area, and I log on, and the dispatch says, okay, stand by for traffic, which means stand by for a radio call, right? They're going to send you on a call. And I said, okay, I'm standing by. She'll come on the air. She says, okay. She goes, I got a man shooting a gun at the Foxdale Apartments. I got a male Samoan breaking out windows with a baseball bat, the 7-Eleven, Astoria and Leeward, and I got a man beating a woman on Cinderella Drive. Which one you want first?
Wow. What'd you pick? What did you pick?
I just told her, just whatever one, just give them to me in order, whatever you want. It's your call.
I was working a PI case. I'm a private investigator now, and I got a case out at Poco Way. Right? Is that would you say it?
Yep, Poco Way.
And I remember, it's a lot different from it was back, Steve, when you're out there on patrol.
That black and white picture of me on foot patrol, that's on Poco Way there.
Right. Yeah, I was out there working a PI case on a missing person not too long ago, but I always think about that because I always remember you talk about that, and I don't remember going out there very much as a highway patrol officer, but once. Okay, so I see the protesters on your left there. That's Story McLaughlin?
This is Story and
Story
King.
Story King.
Good old Story and King.
All right. So are they being pretty, other than the, are they blocking traffic, or are they just standing in the middle of traffic?
Just standing in the middle of traffic.
Okay. You want to talk to one of them through the window?
It looks like they're all. It looks like they're all just being loud. No violence or no rock throwing, nothing like that. A bunch of kids. This is mostly kids.
Right.
Here comes a train.
That's in my house in Morgan Hill. They live near the train tracks, so it'll be up in San Jose here shortly. Well, wow, this is awesome. Well, this is working out good. Hey guys, I appreciate you guys joining in. I think we hit our goal. It was a small goal, but we hit it. And we're going to do this more, not necessarily just on Monday nights, right, Scott? We're going to be going out sometimes in the middle of the day when at least two of us are available. We'll start doing this more, get more live feeds out there. Mark, Frank, Sherry, Dale, Greg, everyone else, we really appreciate you watching, chiming in with us. This is our first live stream out in the field, our first ride along. And Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm just waiting for the light to change. I go home.
Okay. All right. Scott, anything you want to say before we leave?
No, I want to thank everybody that did come check it out. We're going to try to do better. We'll figure out why the video feed is blurry, because I know I paid the bills. But it is, this is not a shout out to AT&T, but basically, in my opinion, they suck. I'm just, But
well, we just lost that sponsorship. No.
We lost that sponsorship.
Yeah. So
that's okay.
I do know there's a lot of activity going on there. I don't know if it's because he's been streaming for over an hour and a half now. But it could be a number of issues, and we'll work it out. I appreciate everyone watching. Steve, you want to say anything before we leave?
No, I just want to say thank you to everybody for participating. And
hold on, Steve's going to show himself here. Woo!
No, just showing the crowd here.
Okay. And hey, thanks a lot to Lieutenant Dale Morgan, retired San Jose PD and retired DA investigator. That was awesome on the traveler scam. We'll post that video up individually. And Steve, are all these people guilty?
No, we just want to remind everybody that any other fugitives you see on any of our platforms are to be considered innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. And if you recognize any of the people on any of our platforms, do not make any attempt to arrest, apprehend, or detain them. Law enforcement may consider any of these fugitives to be extremely dangerous, so do not make any attempt to apprehend them.
So, Scott, if you trade, I think Frank's telling you could trade maybe with AT&T. Yeah. I don't know what he's saying there. So, so I'd like to find out who that guy was who tried to take the cop's gun. I'd like to find out his name out so we can track his progress. And then if he is, we'll get him on the show. Maybe we feature him next week if he's still wanted.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, we'll work on that. All right, everyone, thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Hinch. You can find me at, let's see real quick, in case you want to know where I'm at. Maybe you don't, I don't know. But I'm at Stolen 911. I kind of specialize in theft, retired CHP officer. Now I do a lot of stolen good car stuff. And then obviously Scott and Steve at fugitivewatch.com. Steve, get home safe. Scott, I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
All righty.
Good.
Thanks for joining us. Next time.
All right.
Hit the notification button so you know we're out there. Bye.
And the subscribe button.
And subscribe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.